Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
What are we on?
Okay, this is number 2. I tried to start this one. Now, 1 and 2 of the AP exam are always calculator, and so there's going to be stuff that you're going to have to calculate. And it's meant like that. For this exam, you're going to really have to know how to calculate. How to use the calculator, how to do everything that you did. So we started this yesterday. I want you guys to try it again because this is so important. I want you guys to be able to do this and do this again right now. So in your calculator, I want you guys to go ahead and it says write an equation for a tangent line, graph of point P. So first, I would like for you guys to graph this function right here as a relation. The x squared equals, but then you can't have it as x squared equals. You need to have this to be a relation. It's going to be x equals the square root. And it's going to be for y is going to be less than 11. So that has to do with my window. All right, modes on the calculator are important. What mode do I need to be in?
Radian.
Yeah, okay, so I kept telling you guys that the calculators keep changing modes because my students are using different ones in different classes. So x squared minus 2, okay. So I'm going to go tab. No, there it is, right there. I have enter my relation. So it's x equals square root, crap, wrong one. Square root of -2 plus y, right? Plus 5 cosine y. All right, so there we go. So we get this. So now I'm gonna, in the question, it actually gives me the domain or the range for this one of what my y's are supposed to be. So my y, so I'm gonna change my window right here. Y should be less than 11. So I'm gonna put x min. So let's go. I'm -2. I don't really need to go that high. I'm gonna go 12. So that's 1 more than what I have there. And then over here. So y min -2, and then y max 12. Okay, so because I'm only going to be looking for a part of this, so hit. Okay, there we go. All right, so I have the part that I need now. So I'm going to go through and find a couple things. So I have this in here, right? I have this in here. So I'm going to go back to my scratch pad. And it says the graph of the equation is this, is shown for y is less than equal to 11. It is known that dy dx is equal to 2x over 1 minus 5 sine y. The x coordinate of point P is shown in the graph is 2, so this is 2. Write an equation for the tangent line to the graph of point P. First, I need to know what the y value is. So if my x value is 2, I'm going to figure out the y value. So I'm going to say that this is going to be 2, comma, let me pause my video. Okay, so I had to do a realignment here. All right, so we have parentheses 2, comma, and I need to find something. So that means I need to know what my y value is when x is 2. So what I can do is let's go ahead and plug it in and try to solve for my y value here. So let's see if I do that. Let's go back to here and let's go. Let me see if I could do a vars on this one. Function relation when x is 2. Okay. All right, so in your relation, you can't just plug in an x. You have to actually do the math on it. So let's go back to the graph. I just tried something there. All right, so now for this one right here, I showed you guys yesterday how to do this. So we're going to enter another relation here. I'm going to enter another relation. I'm going to say x equals 2. There we go. All right, so x equals 2. So this is the point I'm looking for, right? Say yes. All right, now I want to know what the intersection is when x is 2, y is some value. So menu, analyze, graph right here, intersection. So now it's lower bound. So now it's going up and down. It's going up and down. When I normally do this, it's left and right. But now I'm actually looking for intersection. So find the spot below and go above. And it should be right here. I should get this value. And in calculus, I always have to use how many decimals? 3 decimals. So let's go ahead and put that into my thing. So it's going to be 4.928. So I have a y value now, right? I have a y value, and now I could actually need to go and figure out the slope. So I'm going to do that now for the slope. So I'm just plugging it in to this because I know that dy dx is going to give me the slope at a point. This is the point I'm looking for. So let's take a look. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. So let's go back to my calculator. And I'm going to go right here. So control, divide, 2 times 2, right? Because my x value is 2. Now it's going to be, was it -1?
It's just 1.
It just 1? Okay, so 1 minus 5. There we go. 1 minus 5 sine of my y value, which was 4.928 right there. So my slope is going to be here. This is my slope now. So it's going to be, because we round 3, the 7 is going to make the 9 become a 10. So it's going to be 0.680.
How did you find the intersection point?
Okay, give me 1 second. So m is equal to 0.680, right? Okay. How did I find what?
The intersection.
Intersection. All right, so let's go back to the graph. Are you on the graph?
Yes.
Did you put in another relation of x equals 2?
Yes.
All right, so watch this. So now go to menu. We're going to analyze graph, and we want to find the intersection right here.
But I did that, and it's not like it's making me like choose the bound.
Yeah, you just have to move it down below. Lower bound is you click it below where it's intersecting, and then you drag it up above to where it's intersecting. Okay. There we go. Right, did you get that far?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, so we have that now, right? So I know we're not playing with our phone because our calculator is important, and we don't have anyone in here that complains about not knowing how to use a calculator because they're playing on their phone.
But I know it now.
All right, so I'm out of here. All right, so the next part of my question, so write an equation for the tangent. So I have a point and I have a slope. So that means I just need to put it together. So it's going to be y minus 4.928 equals 0.680 parentheses x minus 2. And all you have to do is make this y equals. So add 0.680 parentheses x minus 2, and then it's going to be plus 4.928. There we go. All right, it's now y equals, in this case, yeah, that's what I was saying to do. Yeah, leave it like that, because, you know, it's not necessary to do all that other, just make it into a y equals. So if I was going to plug this in, like write an equation, can I plug this in? Can I graph this equation right here? Yeah, so it's now y equals, so I could plug that in and actually draw my tangent line. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's look at points. So my point value here is 1. My point value for my slope is also 1. And for my equation is also 1. Okay? All right, so for y is less than 11, find the y coordinate of each point on the graph where the line is tangent to the graph at a point that is vertical. Okay, think about it. For it to be vertical, what is the vertical line? Now, with your hand, show me vertical line. Right? Straight up and down, right? So what is going to be the slope of that?
0.
Nope.
Undefined.
Undefined. Slope of 0 is right here. It's a flat surface, right? So it's undefined, right? So let's go back to our graph and look at it to see where is it going to be undefined. So let's go right here. So undefined would mean I would have a point here, right?
Yeah.
I would have a point here, right? And I should have a point here, right? Because all these are going to be less than my 11. This point right here where my hand is 11. So I need to figure out those points. Now, because of that, this is a calculator problem, right? So I'm going to show you guys this neat trick where I could figure this part out.
We're just going to trace the graph.
Yeah, we're going to trace the graph.
Okay, so we didn't
But,
do-
hold on. I'm going to show you how to trace the graph though.
No, I'm asking you the problem and we write it on the paper. We don't need to explain it all how we found those points. We just say what are those points.
Okay, you just, yeah.
That's it?
So for this one right here, yeah, you just need to,
I thought we need an explanation or something.
you do, and I'm going to show you what to write.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start off with, my slope would be undefined, right? Say yes.
Yeah.
So the slope would be undefined, so mathematically, what would I have? I would have my dy, I'm going to just carry this over, dx equals, was it 2x over 1 minus 5 sine y? Is that right? Okay, yeah. So, for this to be undefined, what the function is going to make this undefined? When the bottom becomes 0, right? So, I want to actually just state that. So, we're going to state that. We're going to say 1 minus 5 sine y equals 0. So, when the bottom of my function equals 0 is where this is going to happen. So mathematically, if I'm going to do my math on this, it's going to be, okay, it's going to subtract 1, right? And then divide by negative 5. So it's going to be sine y equals positive 1 over 5, right?
Yes. So y is going to be our
Okay, so it's going to be y equals arc sine of 1 over 5. All right, you could plug that in and you could actually get the first one.
You can find the answer.
11.537.
Nope.
What? No. This is what it gets if you plug in a sine 1.
Nope.
What?
What is the restriction on this?
You all would have.
Yeah, so then this one is not, doesn't matter. It's not-
Nope, because you plugged it in wrong.
Why did I put it arc sine of 1 over 5? What did I put
0.2?
on?
Oh,
Yeah, 0.2 something, right?
Oh, should I have
0.201.
degrees?
Thank you.
I hate degrees.
I don't know, you were playing with your phone when I was actually preaching about making sure your calculator's in the right mode. I know, right? I know, some people. Alright, I'm going to show you guys an easier way though. Because if I'm looking at my graph, how many points is there? It's undefined right here, right? It's undefined right here, right? And it's undefined right here, right? So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take my graph of my derivative. Oh, hold on, let me click over here. Alright. So, I am going to get rid of this one. Now, the graph of the derivative was 0 equals, right? Let me show you guys. All right. So for my derivative, couldn't I rewrite this as 2x equals 1 minus 5 sine of y?
Where's the x and y? What did you?
I'm separating this
Yeah, but this.
because I could actually do it like this. So watch, I could say 0 equals control divide 2x over 1 minus 5 sine of y. Okay? So, because of this, I have an issue on this. So, we need to have like an x equals or a y equals. So, I'm going to change this. So, I'm going to say 2x equals 1 minus 5 sine of y. There we go. This is the derivative here. Okay, this is the graph of the derivative. This is super important to understand this. Now, I'm not looking for when x is 0. What am I looking for? Y is 0. Okay, I'm looking for when y is 0 for my derivative here. So when y is 0, that's going to give me my answer. So I had you guys do the math so you could find your first one, right? So watch, I'm going to do the trace now. I'm going to do the trace graph. So I'm going to go to this one. I want the red one. Oh. So what was my first one? What is it?
0.2. It's trace, like the one which is right on the screen right now.
Yeah, it's the same thing, right?
Yes.
That's the reason why I had you guys do that one first. So when you did your arc sine of 1 over 5, you got this number, right? Yes? Okay, so now, because I'm doing it according to where it's at on the y-axis. So this is the y-intercept. So I'm trying to find the y-intercept now. So there's one of my answers. Here is another one. This is, but now, I got a problem here. What's the problem with this?
The x is to 10 to the negative 12.
Nope.
Exactly 0.
Nope. I'm not worried about the exactly 0. This is scientific notation. E to the negative 12 means it's so small,
10 to the negative.
we could actually say that is going to be 0. So if there's something like e to the negative 6 or 7, something like that, you could basically say that's 0. But now, I want you guys to look closely at this. Look at the blue line. It's not there, is it? So the blue line does not exist there, does it? Since the blue line does not exist there, this is not going to be one of my answers. So I got the other answer. So I got one answer so far. Let's keep going. There we go. There's my next one. If you notice, this is the point of the graph over here on the blue line where it's vertical, isn't it? That's right there in the edge where that is vertical. So my next answer, okay, is going to be 6.485. Yes? Okay. There's the next answer. Let's keep going. And then I should have one more, right? One more before I get to 12. I'm sorry, before 11. 9.223. Are we okay? Or is there questions before I move on to the next part?
But is it like undefined when x is equal to 0?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you're looking for your y value. You're trying to see where it crosses the y-axis. All right, so you guys wrote down those answers. So my answers were going to be 0.201.
Then 6.485. And then 9.223.
2 what? 3? Okay. Yeah, it's all calculator. All right. Oh, let me go over points real quick too. All right. So points on this. You get 1 for this. Just show that what's going to make this undefined. And you get 2 for these answers. So I'm pretty sure you're going to get 1 for this answer here, right? Because you were able to get that one, right? And then if you know to use your calculator, you get the other one to get these 2. And part C. All right, average value of the x-coordinates of the points on the graph in the first quadrant between y equals 5 and y equals 9. So first quadrant. So what's the function I'm going to use in the first quadrant?
Square root of,
Say the whole thing.
square root of negative
Nope. What do you start with first?
x equals
X equals. This is a relation. X equals
square root of negative 2 plus y plus 5
plus y
5
cosine of y, right? Okay. Now, if it's going to be the average, let's say average value of the x-coordinates. Okay, right here. So how do we find the average value? We do what?
Integral,
Yes, we're doing the integral. So now how do we set up our integral though?
like from 5 to 9 of that.
Okay, so you're saying from 5 to 9.
Average value, wasn't it like, no, that was.
Go ahead.
I don't know, like b minus a, or 1 over b minus a. I don't
1
know.
over b minus
Yeah,
a.
okay.
So 1 over, that's going to be 9 minus 5, right? So yes, that is right. So I have that average value, and now it's going to be the integral, right? So it's the integral of,
This function.
yeah, negative 2 plus y 5 cosine y dy. And what can I do now?
Can you just plug it in?
Yeah, plug it in.
Oh, into the
Or I feel
calculator, right.
Two point five five zero.
2.5504.
Yeah, but 2.5.
2.550. All right, so let's look at our points. Okay, you have all right, 1 point for this, 1 point for your integral from here to here, and with your dy. Okay, and then 1 point for that answer. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and don't forget,
Like, share, and subscribe.
yes, like, share, and subscribe.
Notification bell.